Kill me now.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
Is it recording?
Yeah, I think so. All right. So what we're talking about is using frames to stop their forward movement. Okay, and it's something. It's a common tactic that is employed by almost all jiu-jitsu players. Okay, and that is to pass. So if he turns into pass man here, all right, I need to stop the slowest movement here. This is temporary. Meaning maybe even if I could maintain this forever, what's the point? All right, the point is I want to win. And so I've got to double down on these efforts, or reinforce this to make it more functional. Now last night, as he moved forward, all right, I chose the reinforced hundreds. Okay? And you're going to have to learn these things separately. All right, and understand them as guards and positions. Okay? And so tonight, I want to talk about a specific thing that happens, and that's when they start to lower their head below. Yes. You see what my hand's doing there? All right, I'm coming from here, coming to the other side, and I'm going to come toward his center line. So even if he put his elbow on the side there, I'm going to come toward his center line so that I can make it out the back. Okay? Once I do that, I'm going to commit to this by reinforcing my hands. Now, what makes this work is to keep them trapped is I'm going to move my shoulder as far this way as I can. Okay? I'm going to pull with this and then reinforce the pull with this. Okay? That being said, look, you can fight to keep him here. Like if he tries to back out, you can start to fight it here. But what I'd rather you do is that if he starts to back out, I want you to move to that. Okay, so that's the very first thing I want you guys to be good at here is that when he moves forward, I use the 100%. He backs out, I turn it into the chin strap. You see that?
Hey guys.
He's too cute to yell at. All right, so he drives forward. I use the 100% because if he continues with this movement here, even if he gets to what we all call side control, all right, we're going to get at least a sweep, and if not, something more. Okay? And next week, we're going to talk about head-only attacks, and we'll start to mix them in with that 100%. But the first thing I want you to be good at, all right, the guy who uses this a lot or kind of invented this as a guard doesn't have that escaping. He just assumes they're always going to drive forward. It hasn't been my experience. All right? So if I don't have that and he backs out, he's just going to reset and go again, and then I'm going to be like, oh, well, poop. Okay? So start with this frame. All right? He lowers his head. I bring my hand toward the center line here and now connect. He pulls out. I go chin strap. He drives back in. Boom. And I want you guys to do that back and forth. Without telling them when you're going to do it, just back out. All right? And what that'll do is just build a sensitivity to whenever he backs out, I just do it. Okay?
I do have a quick question. Yeah. Whenever they drive in, sometimes if they're disciplined enough to keep their...
That's what I'm saying. So here, do it on this side. I frame, I come in, and he brings his elbows in. Make sure you're going toward the center. Okay? The center, like bring your elbows tight. The center is going to allow me to get to that. And if I need to, I'll S-grip here. Now, what makes this powerful is my shoulder on the back of the head. Not this. Like everyone thinks, I gotta pull this. Look at the space in the back of the head. It opens up. Yeah. So jut your shoulder forward and try to touch your head to your hands here.
Yeah.
Okay? Because now look, it's just all getting tighter and tighter to the point where I can get to that full 200%. Does that make sense? All right. So he drives. Boom. Bam. Because look, even if my hands don't connect to it, okay, I'm just underneath. If he jumps over to a side control here, you see what I'm saying? His head is trapped in a way that's going to allow me to come out. Make sense? So let's go to that back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay. You three are gonna have to do it.
Alright.
All right, so I didn't mean to say that. Trio.
A triangle.
You guys do a trio of learning, not
Trio of
Sorry, hey, I hope y'all work together. Don't make eye contact. Share, not share. All right. So get good at this, please. Get us from the cross rank.
Butterfly.
That's right.
Not paying attention.
And she was like,
Just got collected face.
you know what? That's why I'm videotaping this. Go home and watch the damn shit. Pay attention, I'm gonna go watch the video.
It's okay, so yeah, this one was one back out.
First.
Yep.
Yep. And now he pulls out. Grab the chin. Yep. And then what? He drove back in. That's correct. So go back and forth. Alright, basic is basic is fundamental and I can't spell fundamental. Yeah. I think so. Whatever.
My forehead was high.
Phone's right there. Call your mom.
Oh God.
Make sure your brother and sister was that first time.
I remember my dad yelled at me so hard whenever I checked his kidney.
Why? Did it hurt him? You're
Yes.
supposed to check it.
I know, but he was demonstrating. I didn't think about it. It's like it was a reaction.
You should not. You should not be sad.
I was. He was in front of everybody. I was like,
Why? You're wrong. You're wrong. You have to keep it that way. You cannot not check.
It hurts. It doesn't matter which side I go
I'm
to.
checking it.
Oh no, just
Yeah, I'm checking it.
sorry.
Put some shin pads on.
Because I knew he was gonna. I know he likes to like show off burns and kick me hard. So I was like,
Shoulder kept training with it.
no. I was just thinking.
Head
It's
and
different
hands,
for
but
everyone.
drop that shoulder forward.
Probably so.
Okay?
I went down more than I thought.
All right, girl. I need you to be a master of this.
If not, you're gonna get smashed.
What kind of frame is it? Same size
yeah,
frame or
for
cross frame?
our mom's birthday.
I wouldn't use that one if it was longer. Yeah. Yeah, you use that one with us?
Make sure your brother and sister.
No. Okay, now what you're doing is that you're going. Make it
You said which one? Green?
move like that.
So, Kurt, real quick.
Baby's foot.
So I want this shoulder.
Yeah. Yeah, God, why would you want the other one?
That's what I wanted.
No more questions. You either do the technique perfectly or you cut.
Alright, don't break that
Okay, I'm
one.
going to see the
Don't break it!
Come on, look for that map we're turning.
No, you got it. Alright, man. See you tomorrow. Bye, Sloth.
And then grab my elbow.
Bye, sloth.
This part.
The what part?
The part that we're doing for.
The smooth- What do you mean smooth part? It's
You've done Kung Fu.
here.
Sure, try that.
Wow.
Han Sao to Bong Sao.
So like, you do that cross frame. And then you
Come here. Yeah, so you got. Why do we keep getting closer? Number side.
It's the thing. I don't know. People do that. They
Here.
gravitate toward each other.
you want to get in.
Tries to pull out.
My girl boss.
I'm trying to fix
You're
it.
fine. It's fine.
Puts back in.
It's fine.
I got it in the first part.
This one? Oh, so this.
Open
Here.
the
You went like
Hot
this.
Cheetos before I rolled.
Oh,
So
spaghetti.
bad.
Oh,
Okay.
makes sense
I didn't
now.
So drive, make that hand
Okay.
snake.
Stay couldn't.
Now remember, make sure the hand's pointed toward the center when you do that. Yes, because now you can come out the side. Okay.
Whatever you just like to do, just like push. Alright.
Go chin strap first. Don't go straight to the guillotine yet because it's a hook. If you bust it out there, you're trying to build that, you may lose it all, but at the very least you can come up with it.
Yeah, they're good. I just folded so much, I almost had to like.
So you go.
I'll show you this.
Okay, it almost feels natural.
I thought she was, but she hasn't.
But believe it or not, and we'll talk about this next. We'll talk about it next. Next week we're going to do head only attacks, but we still have to talk about
She said she's
why
on the
we
way,
don't
so.
just go straight to choke. Which is a common thing. Like I've seen black belts
She had
mess
cheered
this up.
She had a cheered picture today.
In fact, I asked one at a seminar one time, I was like, what happens when there's no
Yeah.
space here? He's like,
Yeah.
what are you saying? I was like, okay. Never mind.
That's what I did too. But
You're a black belt, I'm just.
I was like, nope.
So here's his dilemma. Keep that elbow tight like that again. Like go back. You don't want him below your elbows right off the bat. Okay? So even if he can't come in there, keep that hand, like keep it wedging in there because eventually he has to move.
Okay.
Okay? So do what you're gonna do there. William. That's his dilemma. Does that make sense? It's a wedge so that once because he's got to elevate to come around. He can't just.
So like, if he, like, say like he keeps it wedged just tight,
Yeah.
and he does go for side control, eventually that arm, the elbow's gonna end up.
It has to because he has to open it up. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. Goes in that corner a little bit.
You see how pushes that corner table rebound.
I'll miss it.
That would have made
You
it.
don't have to do that. But thank you.
That was
Sorry, no, you're good. I was gonna
Am I
find it.
dealing with
I ain't going through it.
Yeah. Now remember what are we doing here? Keep your hands down.
Yeah.
Okay. So now drive your head toward the middle of them. Your hands down.
and no.
Yeah. So
Still be.
it's gonna be like that. So come here, please. So I'm here. Okay. And you move forward. All right. Remember what I just did.
Yeah.
I came offline. I didn't move you offline. I came offline. But even if I had narcolepsy, all right, and you came in, I would keep a frame here because now I'm going to look for the same side type of controls. Okay? Does that make sense? That's a different week where I have not the cross side but the same side, which is still highly valuable. Make sense? Okay. So let's go. These are all good questions. I think we're progressed this far. Okay. Why this and not the guillotine right off the bat? Okay, very important to understand that. So I start to build a guillotine here, but what makes guillotine work is the reinforcement on this side. Okay? And so when he drives into me, I'm trying to build this, except there's no space to build this. And as I'm doing that, he jumps over to side, and now I'm the one who's vulnerable, right? Not completely if I have the chin here, okay? And that's another week too, okay? Oh God, my back just went out. Oh, never get old.
I gotta take him out. It's your chance.
It's a video.
All right. So I use the cross grip. I come across like this. I bring my hand, even if he's super duper tight here, I bring my hand toward the center, okay? Even if he's super disciplined, all right? I bring my hand here and now I can pull it in because now as he jumps over, the same way he would with a guillotine, you see the difference?
Is it on so whenever you put your hand through once you connect it with that S grip, you're still doing the whole giving that shoulder.
Yeah, yeah.
Pitch down, pull
It's
up.
the same thing. I'm eventually I'm gonna get my hand up.
Yeah.
You're not. It's over for you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
It's your birthday? How old are you? 12?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Learn how to talk.
Almost. Yeah. No, you are. Happy
19.
birthday. 19. I knew that.
Thank you.
I was joining the Marine Corps 3 days after I turned 19.
When did you turn?
20.
Yeah.
17.
What? You're in the
17.
What?
That's my son.
Things after.
Yeah.
25. Yeah, you're 25. Yeah, it'd be 26 in December. Yeah, ancient. Anyone older than me might as well be dead.
I bet. I remember being in the Marine Corps, I'd run around and tell the older Marines who were like 20 something. They're like, you guys should kill yourself. I mean, you guys are so old.
Still on video.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
All right, guys. So that's the reason why we don't go straight to the guillotine in this case. So what do? Now you've seen me do the sweep now a couple times, but there's something we have to talk about that's a little more advanced. And so I start to build, but now here's what happens. The reason why I can sweep here is not because I'm picking him up like this. Okay? The reason why I can sweep is because I'm folding his head in and then tilting him over after I do that. Does that make sense? If I sit here and try and lift a human being against his will this way, my hernia is going to get bigger. Okay? But if I fold his head in as he drives into me here, he's either going to comply or he's going to die. All right? And now, a nice submission here is if I get underneath this elbow. God. You're going to tap? Jesus Christ. All right. No, you fight me.
Guy doesn't.
I'll let you guys fight for a little while, but Jesus. All right, so I wouldn't count on that one, and you couldn't do that in like a regular jiu-jitsu tournament because they'll throw tomatoes at you.
No neck cranks.
Yeah. So, but the value that you have here, yeah, exactly. You're mean. Yeah, I know.
Give me my gold.
Yeah,
You might go
exactly.
over
Like,
next.
we're fucking fighting, asshole. So, once I do this, there's an element that you have to keep aware of. Is this hand blocked? Because if it's not, and he's got a little bit of instinct to him, this is what happens.
It's really fast.
Boom. Okay? Now, if you'll notice, what's happening here is that he's had to expose his back to me. If I'm not prepared or understand this and he continues to rotate, that happens. Okay? It becomes a race.
Hey man, shut up.
So, the way we deal with that is we reinforce behind the tricep here, okay? So now he snakes his hand in and he rotates. I slow him down by pushing this. Now, normally I would take this and go to the back. Exactly right. But instead, it's going to be easier just to come right into a Senkaku. All
Pretty
right?
cool.
Don't watch
Come on, guy.
Yes,
Oh, I didn't realize the kids
now
did
you
that.
can tell
That's why I
everybody in
was
the class that Coach
Yeah,
Cat
this is a
sucks.
kids class every now and then.
Sorry. All right. So that's anytime the back is exposed, I want you to think Senkaku before back control. Before back control, super intense. I want you to get a book, and I want you to do something, another experiment. I'm going to bring her in on that. All right, because you're book minded. I want a composite.
Okay.
In fact, anyone who wants to do this, all right, I want you to get, what do they call those stupid books? I buy hundreds of them.
Just a little book.
Spiral notebook.
No,
Composition
not a-
book?
That's a little composition book. Yeah.
Different.
There's
There's a difference.
what's the composition book
Because there's
for?
no goddamn spiral in there.
I like a spiral.
I don't give a shit what you
You don't
like.
want a spiral.
Get a spiral notebook. It's important for the lesson.
Composition, because that's what you're used to.
It has to be
Is that what it
spiral.
is?
Wait, why do you want a
Yeah,
composition
that's
book?
probably what it is.
That's probably what it is.
Why do you want to come to
No, it's
third
great.
I want, goddamn, I can go get myself a damn
I
book,
want
girl.
If I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna make a binder.
Oh.
No, I want you to get composition.
Has
book.
to be a spiral notebook.
I would kill all of you.
Kirk, the only reason I said binder is because the first time I did the inside like Ashi page, I messed up. So I just like.
Okay, this is not going to be that
Spiral,
involved.
you
This
can
is
rip out the
look.
page.
Here's what I'm trying to do. The act. This has been tested. The act of writing and your memory are linked. Okay, and so I want to do something, an experiment, to see if I can bypass some resistance to learning. Okay. So.
It's really nice way to say we're stupid.
No, in fact, what I've been studying
I have a
suggests.
book on memory if you want to read it.
No, memory's not the issue in this instance.
Maybe
I'll
I'll
get
write a list
a book.
about
I'll get a book.
I need problem solving. What I end up with is not problem solving. I'm not trying to create guys who do exactly what I do. I'm trying to create guys who are open and understanding enough that they can create things on their own. Okay, because this thing will never be done. We're never going to be done learning new stuff. You understand? And so what we have to do is learn concepts that will always be there, not moves that will change. Okay. This is why we're doing the binder thing. So give me not a binder.
Composition book.
Composition book. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. But give this a chance if you want to.
your
So
next
that'll be
try.
like my note-taking book, and then my binder will be all.
Just
done.
notes.
Turn your
You're
homework
having
first try.
OCD shit. I just want you to have they have the little ones. I love those the best. The little 50-cent ones. They're tiny. Because I go through, crazy shit. And then I don't need it anymore. Because honestly, I absorb it better that way when I write it down. Let's get back to what we're doing. So when I saw you, do your overzealous student look, that's what I thought. Alright, so here I am, the arm comes in, and now I'm getting the angle change I desire. I don't want it to go too far, and so I look for ways to create a senkaku. Okay? Notice I use two different senkakus here.
Yeah.
Okay? It's really going to be dependent on what he's doing and what's more available. Alright? I can have no bias.
Is it weird to say which one's easier to get?
No, because it's going to be dependent on their reaction.
What was the different reaction that he
You
gave?
know what? I don't want to spend too much time on that. Just know that the senkakus are going to be based on what's available, not like step 1, step 2,
Yeah.
step 3. Okay? All right. So what are we drilling here? Again, I want you to keep in mind, especially for next week, that once I come in here and they try to leave, what's he doing when that happens? That space that I couldn't get, he's actually the one who's giving it to me now, so that now I learn how to do a guillotine properly next week. All right, I've got something that actually works. This particular guillotine is so powerful that even though, look, I'm going to take my legs completely out of it, he can do whatever he wants here. Okay, like pass.
From my neck.
Yeah, I don't want to hurt guys.
I know why, it's a frame.
So it's not a standard guillotine. It is something that I've had one fighter who knew no other way to do guillotine, basically hung a dude in Alaska while he was doing the proper defense to guillotines. And then he dropped it. It was very primal. All right, so, but if I get somebody who says, F you, and Sarah ran into this with a high active D1 level wrestler. I mean, he was literally not a guy who had wrestled D1, but a guy who was currently a D1 level wrestler. He's like, F you, I'm just going to keep coming forward. So she ended up in this where he's just driving. If that hand doesn't come across, you're going to find it harder to sweep him. Okay? You're going to have to choose a tactic here. All right? You can turn this into a controlled position here. All right? My suggestion, though, is to always kind of look for the sweep first, because I like it when you guys are on top, because in a fight, you get more options when you're on top. All right? Even if my grappling seems to be kind of, or he's kind of clammed up, I can always address that with a couple punches to his face. Okay, from the bottom, I don't get that same value. Okay, so anytime I can be on top as opposed to being on bottom, I will choose to be on top. All right, unless I'm forced to. In that particular circumstance, I would prefer to try the sweep first. Okay, makes sense? All right, you do that by driving the head and turning it. So let's get good at that. But I want you to remember, in real life, this is what's going to happen. Frame, boom, in, boom, I start to sweep him and he backs out. You're going to have to go back and forth. All right, he may, uh-oh, my neck, I drive forward, I'm going to side control. You have to be ready to switch between both of them. Oh, I missed it. All right.
What if they're really,
He was.
their arms are really tight?
Huh?
Their arms are really tight.
Good question. You missed it. Everyone who was on time got to see this. I'm just messing with you. I'm messing with
I wanna see
you.
it. Okay.
Okay. So, good. So, if I come in here and that arm's tight, okay, what's he losing when he keeps those arms super tight right there?
Post.
Huh?
Post.
Post one of them. What else?
I heard that come out of your stomach. I literally heard that. Oh, Jesus Christ. I heard it before it happened. I heard it before it happened. I was like, oh my God.
He's a burp whisperer.
I was like, it's kicking.
You hear my baby? So, what's even worse is he puts his hand around my waist, all right? And he's starting to pull in tight here, okay? Man, oh God. Oh, it's gonna be tough here. But here's what happens. Like, even if I do nothing here, like go to side, he has to give it to me eventually. All right? The only way this is really gonna go super bad for me is if I'm here and he jumps aside, and I go, oh God. All right? Even then, oh God. I at least build myself some space up to come back around. All right? Yeah.
So gross.
Oh, volcano. Good.
Okay?
Yeah.
Glad we got to learn some anatomy today too.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah. All right. So let's practice this. This is advanced stuff. Okay? But it is stuff that is going to be potent. Here's an example just to kind of open your mind to the bottom half. All right, this is everywhere. So, frame, he underhooks. Usually we go straight for a head attack here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Julian. Alright, you need to just unsee that.
Is that why, like, whenever we do go for the underhook, you want us on our shoulder? Kind of do? Whenever we come up?
No, here's how you prevent all of that. And this is super side note, but you guys screw this up so badly. All right, if when I come here, first off, I don't want to reach with my underhook.
Yeah.
Like if this is right, if this is this much space here, I'm gonna put something in there, okay? But if he's driving into me, I want my head on this side.
Okay.
Okay, so now when he tries to do something like that, if my head's on this side, it's not happening. If my head's across that 0,
Do you still do the 200%?
from there?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. If you can, it's not going to be as necessary. But look, I would replace your head and arms there with this.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, if you came in here, you know it's funny, this is the original place you used it. 100%. This was the only place that Timpman used it.
Yeah, reach for the underhook.
Yeah, he reaches for the underhook. Now his head stays on this side. Look,
Yeah.
nothing's there. Okay, all right. But people think being close is safe, and so when he brings his head close, that's wrong. You get what I'm saying? Now there's a lot of things I can do here. All right. If he's insistent on coming up, we're going to end up in the same place we have been today, right here. Okay. If I get someone who's hesitant or something, I'm just going to sprawl out here and do horrible shit to him. You know what I'm saying? That
Slip a disc.
slip a disc or disconnect the spinal cord, whatever. But really what I'm looking for is probably to take the back or put him in some kaku. Right? Makes sense?
I'll just get DQ'd.
Yeah. Look, here's the thing. If I talk to the rules, I would. It's so weird. Look at her arm. It's like a pillow.
Give yourself a chin strap. You get yourself.
I didn't think I could touch my own shit.
Like an IED went off over there.
As close as I can get.
Play dead, Jazz.
Push her
Play
up.
dead.
Like Peter Griffin.
It's like I am dead. I'm dead.
Back. His arms always
All right.
like this.
She's like, my dad told me I was cock blocking, so I had to solve. Bingo, bullseye, bro.
All right, guys, play with this. Okay, play with this.
Oh shit. Alright, so
My back hurts all the time.
all of that. Let's do if you like if I get it and then you spin it out.
Like, listen out.
Yeah, so I'll do two first. Like you if I drive in, you lock it in. If I snake this on
So
through,
that's gonna be dependent on what leg you can get across
yeah, so
to
you
do that. Yeah,
and try to slow me down. And that way you can
at the wrist. So we
come to the mount. Or set up this one like he did, but
Big
yeah,
difference.
I would just come up to the mount. It's like
But be ready for this shit.
Alright,
Yeah.
so wait,
Okay.
like you're gonna guillotine.
All right, cross frame. Now you see how high she is?
yeah,
That's
like
why
you like a
it's
triangle.
not timed.
You
It's
have
when
to
her
have
head
half
drops
legs.
below the frame.
At the elbow. Will I be?
Yes. Because what would I do if her head stayed above the
I
frame?
would get out of myself, so
Reinforce under.
That's what I did, and I was like, what's happening?
and then you'll feed your right arm through.
That means you chose correctly. Okay.
Now what?
Well, do you have the arm trapped or not?
Shit, I got my hook. So
Her other arm.
This one, I can't pull it through,
Then I would go for the sweep.
I just don't have
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
Wait, I'm pushing off the ground.
I'm ready to do it.
Continue if you want.
To push off the ground? Is this the push
I
movement?
did it one
Yeah.
time, but
Break
you
it,
like
it'll be
spin your
like,
Yeah, I mean,
go just let your neck snap instead. But yeah, you can stay up if you want.
yeah.
I noticed, guys, when I do it, I try when I have it.
Oh, that's
I try to
actually
bring
fine.
their-
That's
Bring their head down and go,
I like that.
they'll wanna go a little
Because
easier.
you actually do like that for that one.
Do not forget that they're gonna back out, or this will fall apart on you. Okay? There's no move cooling up. Miss out on winning. Yeah, so it depends on which one, right?
Yeah. That's sloppy, but yeah.
No, it's sloppy because you've never experienced that before, but you
Oh
what?
my God, some grace. Thank you so much.
See, this is why I don't
This way,
compliment you.
push it down.
because
Goes right to my head.
it Goes right to your head.
Yeah, keep going.
For the record, it's
Oh,
let's do it
you have
again.
an arm
Yeah.
through, so you don't wanna hold on anymore.
But look, if her hand is on that elbow, you're okay. Push the elbow back down and now bring that right leg over her head.
Right leg over?
Yes. Now, where are you? That is correct.
They can do
Our
crucifix,
breaking
possibly.
stuff.
No.
Which leg is it gonna be? It's not always gonna be that one, but
Yeah. I think that's what it was. So, Kurt,
constant pressure back, yes. And that's right, it's not always arm bars. Sometimes it's Americana, sometimes it's gonna be Kimura, sometimes it's gonna be the choke eventually. Alright?
so the first time we did it, he kind of like sat right by us. So I just took the seatbelt. I looked at him.
That's generally what you do.
If he's like scooting down, my hips are like sitting on his shoulder. That's like sitting kind of
Correct. And you'll find that in real life, that's gonna be
Yeah,
mostly the
so what
scenario.
we just ran into is my hip, like my hips are like right on his shoulder blades. I need to scoot my hips to the side of his like shoulder to get my legs to.
Probably.
Go to the front to a seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have my arm?
Ah, in fact, I would take the back here because what he's done, yeah, the legs aren't split. We haven't split the arms, okay, we're on that side, the back is the right. Even if I wanted to Senkaku, I would go to back and then to the Senkaku depending on the reaction. Alright? And here's the reason why, and you really feel it.
Yeah.
As I get
then you
this, all right, the leg,
cross
the
it,
arm comes
right?
through.
No.
If my arm
Oh, wait.
stayed on this side, I would
Oh.
go Sankaku. But if my arm stays here and you launch
Okay.
and turn into it, then I'm definitely gonna take the back here. But as we go along through this, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I may end up choosing a Sankaku afterward.
No.
All right, depending on your reaction after.
Wait, she had.
You're not getting
Sweat
some-
for me.
Yeah, you're not getting some-
She had my head on.
Yeah, but she has not had long control.
Hey guys, look, one thing's guaranteed in fighting here. That's right. Look, your default setting, whenever it's in flux, get on top. Okay? In jiu-jitsu, we can't punch, we don't punch each other, but this is for fighting. And so if you end up on top, you're like, oh man. Because now his jiu-jitsu is going to get really bad.
I don't know if that makes
Alright,
sense.
you want to see a black belt
I'm
double
just
heel
trying.
punch
It's
to the
okay.
ground?
We'll just try.
No, no, no.
Okay.
I'll show you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's
Get it.
So you got head and arms like this. But then you have to 100% here. Sort of. So if I sweep them, they're gonna end up here.
Sorry, mate.
And
No, you're
your arm's
fine.
still gonna be a little way.
Yeah.
So that pressure get us so like.
That he's correct on this, and it's hard to see. This is not
Oh,
easy
yeah?
to see. You should be frustrated with this, but it's when that arm comes through that the Sankaku becomes. We were just in fact. Well, let me demonstrate. Why is it always going to be not a Sankaku? Okay, if I come in here and he rotates, okay, and that hand comes all the way to that side. All right, and he continues to rotate. There is no Sankaku here. I would have to do something extraordinary. This is a back take time. Okay, back is not dead because of Sankaku. It's just there's more available. Come back. But this time, all right, either by design or by accident. You see what happened here? I kept my knee and my arm here connected. He was never going to get that arm to the other side. So now as he continues to turn.
Oh.
He rolls into it.
That's correct. Makes sense? Okay?
Makes a lot of sense.
So it is hard to see. This is not easy shit, but this is, that's hard to see. Back is not dead. Sankaku doesn't replace anything. Sankaku is an addition. You understand? There's a lot of in between mount and back. There's a lot of in between, and Sankaku fills a lot of those. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, couple more minutes.
Keeping that that leg up.
Hold on. Yeah. So let's say I wanted to set him up for that. Okay. If I'm here and he gets past my leg, all right. Let's say I was in bottom half and I was doing this, which you absolutely can. Then from here, I'm not going to get the Sankaku. But if I wanted to ensure this, let's say I was in butterfly here, and I kept my leg out like this. Now, if he tries to bring that arm through,
It's gonna get.
you get what I'm saying? So you can
And
funnel
it
him.
makes it easier for you to bring that leg over to it.
Oh, that's the only way.
Yeah.
All right, that's the only way to do it. So it is, but if either scenario is good. If I get behind you, no matter how I attach to you, I'm not built to do shit like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if I'm behind you, whether it's through Sankaku or through seatbelt or just got behind you somehow with the waist strap, I am in a dominant position. Make sense? Okay? Because no matter if he's stronger than me, like how much can you bench backwards?
Not much.
Not much. All right, so even the strongest guy in the world, he might be able to bench as much as me, forward, backwards, but now I've cut down his strength considerably. Does that make sense? Huh? People used to ask me when I first got back, they're like, well, where's the best place to shoot silver? What do you think?
In the back.
In the back. 100%. Best place to shoot somebody is in the back. Because if they are facing you, they can shoot you, right? So unless you've got some sort of Western sharpshooter in a mirror, and even then I wouldn't recommend that in combat, you are at an advantage. Make sense? All right. Let's do this. Get some water, we're rolling. Okay?
It's a threat.
It's not a threat.
I feel threatened.
That is not my responsibility.
Yeah, just joking.
I like when people Venmo me